This first clip was recorded yesterday, which was Monday, May 14th, and it's another conversation between Josh and I at Park Grounds after having had a weekend apart or so. We got back together and just talked about everything. The weather was kind of dreary and overcast, so I think the overall mood of the conversation was kind of affected by that. But as time went on, as the sky started to open up, and Josh and I talked more and more about what had gone on over the weekend and just about stuff in general that we've been thinking about, both the tone of the conversation and the weather in conjunction with one another got better. Hey, how's it going? Can I get a cup of coffee right here?
Sure.
Thank you.
$1.95.
All right. Is it slow when it rains?
It's so slow.
Yeah. Looks like it. Does it get boring? Or do you find things to do?
Fun things to do.
Cool. Thank you. Ming. 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 Hey. Hey. You the only one here?
Nobody else wants dogs, apparently.
Not on a rainy day.
Feel free to use that shirt to clean you a dry space.
Okay. Oh, but this is a new Avengers shirt.
Yes, but it's a large, and it doesn't fit me well, so I only wear it in emergencies.
Emergency shirt.
I think you got it for free.
Did she go see the movie?
Oh, we both went and saw the movie. She actually got that for free from her work somehow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that movie was out May 4th.
Yeah, it was a Friday. Nick and I went and saw it opening night at the drive-in.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it was pretty tight.
Over on Moreland?
Pretty tight. So, dude, what's up, man? I feel like it's been a little minute.
It's been the weekend.
Indeed.
Maybe I should get a better chair.
Perhaps. I'd have to recommend one of those wooden ones.
One of these? I'm a fan of straight back.
You're a fan of bareback.
Broke back. Man.
She'd rather be sleeping right now.
Really?
Yeah. She's on Jake and Alex's schedule. And like Noah. Or she just stays up with whoever's in the living room. It's her schedule.
Ming. She does look tired. Did you wake her up to come here?
Yeah, well, she woke up. But you can tell that. Like if a dog came, it would probably wake her up all the way. She also is not so into a wet ground. You can tell she's being weird.
Just doesn't really feel good.
It's like lifting up her paw every now and then. She doesn't want to sit down all the way. She'll do it though.
Did Nikki do anything for Mother's Day?
No. I don't even know if she called her mom. She might have. But, went and bought her breakfast.
You did?
Yeah.
In the morning?
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
A mother of animals.
Yeah, totally. I keep feeling like in our friendship group, like a silent schism has occurred.
Dude, it's bad, man. It is. It's bad.
You know how like historians look back at history and then they give it names depending on how they analyze it?
See.
This would be the silent schism of 2012.
Indeed. Maybe 2011 and 2012.
Yeah, maybe just the first decade of the 2000s,
yes,
or something. Approaching the second.
First 2 years, probably. Sure, it'll mellow out after this one. To whatever it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I've been thinking about.
I let slip, or I wasn't really let slip, but I just like, that girl Jin Kim.
Yeah.
She is. Jake was saying now she might be moving into our house.
Are you serious?
That's what he said. Man, he sounds very, very sure of it, but my initial thought was, no fucking way she's going to want to live there. But,
in your room, presumably.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good room. Like, she'd have her own bathroom and stuff. So,
right.
And,
but man, it would be dirty all the time.
Yeah, well, I wasn't going to say anything. And then Jake was like, man, it's going to be so much better when she lives here. And I was just like...
She's going to clean everything.
Well, I don't know why he said that. And I didn't say anything. And he's like, yo, I didn't mean, because you're going to be gone. And I was like, no, that's cool. I was like, you realize, I was like, she's not going to be cool with, like... I was like, how is a girl going to be okay with that? And he was like, well, it's not that bad. And I was like, dude. I was like, you and Alex are grotesque. I was like, you don't clean up after yourselves.
Right.
I was like, it's going to take a rare woman to be okay with that.
Yeah, for sure. Not to mention the roaches, which are no one's fault in particular, but just disgusting in general.
Right. Well, it takes constant vigilance to ward off those roaches. You're always in the weeds fighting them, and just when you got a member of your team not helping, but contributing to the mess, it bogs you down real bad. So
I bet that she was like telling everyone that she was looking for a place, and then Jake told her that they have a house, and that was it.
I'm sure that was about what happened. But, I mean, I would be just blown away if she was like, okay.
Yeah, that's even funnier considering how many times I've asked him about Jin Kim, and he's got...
Yeah, I thought that was funny too when he told me about that, just for that reason.
Yeah. We shall see. I have a feeling that room will stay vacant after you leave for at least a month.
Well, you know, I asked Noah about this. I had asked Noah about this in front of Jake, and I asked him about it in front of Jake on purpose because it was a hard thing for me to ask, and I figured it's not like I'm worried about what Noah's going to say. I'm basically just worried about how Jake's going to react. Even though it doesn't affect the situation, it just makes me mad.
Yeah.
And so I told him in front of Jake, and that was when we had that conversation. But I might need to stay in that house for like a couple months, or that would be ideal. I would hate to have to like move all my shit and just go stay somewhere for a couple months waiting on this house.
So there's no sure time that house is going to be available?
I expect the worst, personally. I just think it's wise to prepare for the worst. I think it could be 3 or 4 months. So.
Well,
if that bummed me out.
If that is the case, you're welcome to come and stay at my place anytime you want.
I've definitely kept that in mind. And what my plan is, the thing is I would need somewhere to keep the animals. That's my only issue.
Right.
I could clean out that whole basement and like store my stuff down there. In the meantime, if somebody needed to move into the room.
Right. That's reasonable.
But what I would probably want to do is just take that bedroom with the TV in it. Nobody uses it anyway ever since the PS3 is broken.
You're talking about in the
front of the house, just so I could keep Tommy and Mila. I don't want to have to move them. I don't want to stress Tommy out. Shit.
Sounds very complicated.
It is a little. It's a little bit complicated, but there is a plan B for everything. I got all it sucks. It's a
Yeah.
little bit stressful, but I know what I'm going to do in every possible situation that presents itself.
So you would just be like a non-contractual, like,
Rent payer.
yeah.
Right. I would not
They would
sign a
sublease it or
lease,
whatever?
but I would still pay all portions of bills and still pay the rent. So
What bills are in your name at that house?
water is in my name.
Okay.
So,
Name. Well, that sucks. So why is it going slow now? It seemed like it had a lot of momentum with
honestly,
the house.
I knew this was going to happen, and I've been telling Nikki about this for months and months and months to start doing it. And I told her for this reason. I was like, because when it comes to this is going to take a long time. When it comes down to it, I do not want to have to ask them to stay another several months. I want to have this plan while we have time. And she was getting mad at me for hassling her and pressuring her. Mm-hmm. And then the time comes, and it's exactly what I thought was going to happen. It pissed me off.
Would it be possible to move into where Nikki lives?
It would be. I think that should be my last resort. I think I do not. She's gonna have to figure out something to do with Coco if I move in there and bring all the animals, and then it's just gonna be me and her in that tiny little space.
Yeah.
Before we move in together, and I don't want to have to do that. If it's bad. Be tempers flaring.
Yeah,
And
this
then
is a
she'll
stressful
resent
time.
me for being there because Coco has to be somewhere.
Right. Has she officially like taken Coco in now?
I mean, it's
She has
official.
to.
I would say she's my dog too. Like I wouldn't want to adopt her out either. But Nikki can be a little bit just unfair. She can be a little biased in her view of the animals just because she gives Coco a lot. It's sad. I mean, I feel bad for Coco, but she has a lot of issues, and I don't think it should keep us from giving the same amount of attention to every animal.
Well, dang, that's not the best news.
No, it's actually, well, it's not that bad. It's
Yeah.
really not that bad. I've known this was going to happen. I'm as comfortable with it as I can be. And I know what I'm going to do in the situation, so I thought it out a lot. So,
Yeah. Well, it just sucks to not. I was under the assumption that you would be out of that house like soon. That was part of the schism.
me too. Schism might only just be worse than me being there because it's still a silent schism.
Yeah, I would think that it would probably
I'll be
be worse.
present.
Yeah.
It's weird, man. It's too weird. So, yeah, and I guess I haven't seen too much of Alex or Noah, and I think I know why. I guess Alex has been chilling with Anne-Marie.
Yeah.
And I guess Noah's been chilling with Brittany or something.
Really?
He's just never there anymore, and his car's there a lot of the time, so.
Brittany wrote me back. She emailed me back.
Really?
Yeah, and it was pretty much just like a very, not too. It was kind of a detached email, just tell me what she was up to. Not.
It was just like an obligatory response.
No, because she initiated it. So she started out by saying that she was sorry that it had been late and everything. Because she initiated it, so she was like, sorry for asking you a question and then not responding when you responded, like in a timely manner. But she basically just moved out of Barrie and she moved back to Lilburn for the moment. And she's supposed to be moving into some house, probably with Steven and all, in Atlanta, I think by the 1st of June.
Yeah.
And the email, the weird part about it, at the end, she was saying that she was going through all her stuff because she had to move, and she came across like a bunch of things that she doesn't think she should have anymore of mine, like my Grandpa Iggy's banjo, this old bracelet that was my grandma's, and then this skirt, this lace skirt. And I don't really have much to say to most of the paragraphs that come before that, but I really don't think that she has to give me back anything. And I don't think that, like, that to me seems like something that our culture, our popular culture, like, that's what they would do on, like, Friends and stuff. Rachel would give back Ross's whatever.
And it would be, like, funny.
Yeah. Like, I guess I don't need this photo of us eating
Yeah,
pizza
that's, like,
anymore.
kind of fucking sick, honestly.
Well,
if she thinks it's like it just seemed like almost like an air of like, oh, this is over. Let's just laugh about it and get the stuff back.
no, it was more like, I'm going to ask her if it hurts her to have those things around, like it just is, it's bad memories and it makes her sad, or if she just feels like she has to because those things are family kind of heirlooms.
Yeah.
Because I think she should keep them because it's just stuff.
They're hers. That
Yeah.
you gave to her. So
Yeah.
even if she wanted to throw them in the garbage, that would be her prerogative.
Yeah,
Right.
right. And to me, that wouldn't that wouldn't hurt my feelings. And I still have this book that she made for me back, like, it was a book that had a lot of pictures of when we traveled out west when she moved to Portland. I think she made it for me for when she got back, maybe, or sometime during that period in our relationship. And I really like that book still. And I still have bracelets and stuff. I have a ton of stuff that she made for me. And to me, I don't see any reason to give it back.
There's no point to give it back. So
I'm gonna have to ask her about that. I think maybe in previous relationships she's done that, given stuff back. Maybe, I'm not sure, but whatever. I saw that Ariel girl. I saw her the other day for 10 minutes. I haven't seen her for months.
yeah.
Yeah, like she gave me a movie. We watched that movie that one day when I first saw her when I first moved back here.
Yeah.
And she went to Seattle for a
Gone since then.
She was only there for a week, and that was 2 months ago.
Are you gonna chill with her?
I think she's really cool and interesting, but every time around her, I feel like she feels like it's awkward.
Yeah.
And I don't know. When we said goodbye, I was like, we don't have to wait another 2 months to see each other again this time. And she was like, yeah, we'll see you in 2 months. So
Just call her out on that.
no.
No, dude, you should. She'll like it.
Well, but I mean, for me, like when I first met Eyes with Ariel Pratts, I knew immediately that I liked her, and it was like the most intense feeling of like I've ever had.
I remember that.
And I don't feel that for Ariel at all, so I don't think that that's worth really pursuing. She's cool.
I don't think you're gonna feel that. Had sex now. You know what a relationship is. That feeling only comes when you don't know what's coming next. I remember I used to think it was like really weird that people would always be like I can't love people, blah, blah, blah. I remember when I was younger, I'd be like, dude, I feel like I'm in love with every girl that I see.
Yeah.
But now I understand, I guess, how somebody could say that.
Yeah.
Although I would never say that. You just have to know yourself and know your feelings.
Well, I don't know. I think it could happen again. I think it would take a long time. I don't think it's going to happen
Because I know
soon.
the only times I get feelings like that, I've had feelings like that this spring.
Yeah.
Where the kind of feelings that make you want to get on your bike and just ride in the vicinity of where this girl might be. You don't know.
That's what
But you're just going to go to every spot she may be.
Yeah.
So that's like that feeling, yeah. I know that feeling for sure. So.
Well, it's good that it's a rare feeling, if at all. Even if
I like it too.
Yeah.
You can't be feeling that strong
Yeah.
of anything. So.
Well, because I don't really want to have another relationship anyway, the fact that it may not ever happen again, but I have faith that it might, is good because at least that way I'm not looking for anything that might keep me away from the goals that I have that are not, a relationship would probably only hold me back on.
Also, like, I'd say the best amount of time for somebody to really get an idea of whether or not they like you anyway is about 6 to 8 months. No point rushing the shit.
That's true. Would you describe your overall mood right now as pessimistic?
I would definitely say I'm on the darker side of the coin.
Yeah.
I have been for a minute. But I'm trying to not be.
Yeah. I'm sure it's hard. I'm sure it's hard to not be.
Yeah, well, it's only so hard. There are a few things I could do to make it a lot better pretty easily that I just haven't done.
Yeah. Like what?
One of them is quit smoking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I see I quit again, and I was just like flipping the fuck out. I was really mad. I was like being really nasty, being really nasty at work. And I was also frustrated because I couldn't remember why I was doing so well the last time I quit, and why this time it was so fucking hard. And so I started smoking again.
Yeah.
And then I remembered that what I did last time was every time I got that feeling that was driving me nuts, I went out and ran it off. So I'm gonna keep riding my bike, but whenever I'm out of cigarettes again, that's what I'm gonna start doing. When I get that feeling, just go out and fucking. It's a really crazy energy, and it's like a negative energy, but it is energy.
Yeah.
So it's like damn.
Right.
And like yeah. So, but channeling it into running made me feel better for usually the rest of the day every time I did that. So
Yeah.
it took the edge off just enough to do it. So I gotta get back on that. So and that'll improve my mood. That'll be everything. If I do that, that'll flip the coin. So.
Yeah. I get the feeling this guy is purposefully trying to ruin this conversation. This street sweeper is just like, okay.
Future.
I got him.
He's
He's embarrassed now.
Oh man, they know. Then the other day, it was Saturday, was Daniel's birthday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so his girlfriend had like a party at her house, and I went over there to hang out.
Yeah.
And I have never ever felt so socially like nervous.
Really?
I've never felt. I always thought that I was kind of socially awkward anyway. Mm-hmm. But like I was like at the point of a panic attack almost the whole night, and it was pretty bad. Everybody thought I was really drunk, even though I wasn't drunk at all.
Really?
And I just told them I was, because I didn't want to have to be like, no, I'm kind of having a panic attack right now.
Huh.
I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know who to talk to. I don't know any of you guys.
Yeah. Damn.
It was really weird.
I wish that you and I could like live like in a convent for like a few months, like this. Like if we could take the summer off and just go somewhere very secluded.
Yeah.
I feel like you need a recalibration.
Yeah, dude. I don't know what I need, man.
Because you're not naturally a socially awkward person.
I know. Like. I know. That's why I was so weirded out by it.
Yeah, and that probably fed upon itself.
Yeah, and it's been a while since I've been in a social gathering that wasn't a show that I was playing.
Right.
Which kind of that takes the edge off because I'm there for a purpose. I'm not, and so a lot of what I was thinking that night was like, what has happened to me?
Yeah.
The thought kept happening. It was crazy. It was like the weirdest thing on the planet.
Were you on anything at all?
I was on weed.
So that might have affected.
I'm sure that amplified it.
Yeah.
So.
Was Ray there?
Yeah, I was chill with Ray and Daniel. That was not a problem. And this dude named Josh Feiger that I know pretty well over there.
Uh-huh.
But it was all these girls, man. I can't handle the girls out here.
What's the guy doing? Just because of their spring fever?
I don't know. It's like there's a specific brand of girls in Atlanta, and it comes from me. It's like an evolution of my like of like the preppy plastic girl, like at school, and it's like the hipster, preppy girl now.
I see.
And I don't know. I just like they just find me out really bad, and I don't know what it's like. I turn retarded in front of them. So,
interesting.
Yeah, it's hard to focus.
Dang, we've all gone off on such different paths, all of us.
Oh yeah, we're all doing our own thing. Well, I don't know. I'd say you and I have gone off on our own path way more than anybody else.
Yeah,
so
But also,
everybody else is kind of sticking it close together. But.
I agree with that. But then also, you and I have gone off on our own path, but also separate paths.
See, well, that's what I meant when I said that.
Yeah,
is that we've both decided to take our own path, and we've both taken it much further than anybody else has taken their own path. I would say it's still not too far. Matter of fact. Me, I've barely taken my path anywhere, I feel like. Just a tiny little notch.
Yeah, but I feel like part of a lot of your frustration is the fact that you have so much potential to take it wherever you want, really.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know what I want to do.
I think that you
specifically I want to do.
I think you just got to do what you think you should do, and then just do it.
That's the only way to figure it out. So.
Yeah, like with me and the Peace Corps, like it's a scary like idea, but I've done a lot of things so far to actually put my foot in the door.
Very true. That is so true. Because you know what I keep thinking? And this is a weird notion, but I feel it real strong.
What?
Because I just love playing the piano, man. So awesome. And it would be really cool to go to school for jazz music. That'd be cool.
Well, that's definitely not the first time you said that, which I think is a good sign.
And it would just be, that would be so fun, man. And yeah, but it's like weird. And I know I could do this.
Yeah.
For sure. But it would just take work. It's like to get into the program, you have to have had experience playing music. So I would have to learn how to read treble clef, relearn bass clef, and figure out the reading it on I
Dude.
can't do that for shit.
You
I got the rhythm in my head.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah.
You should start playing at a church.
Yeah.
That'd be a lot of experience.
That
And
would
they would
be a
do
lot
it
of
for free.
experience. That would be. It's true. I can't, yeah. I need to practice reading music. I don't know how to, I can't do that for shit. So. Yeah.
But you're right, that would take a lot of work.
It would take so much work, man. Well, that's another thing that's frustrating is the way that I've learned things, all things, because I haven't been taught properly anything.
Right.
Is I get so gung-ho about it, and I don't want to start at the beginning. I just never start at the beginning. I never start with the basics. Everything I've ever done, start at a really hard point, and then it takes me years to get good at that. And then once I finally get good at that, it's a weird good at it because I never understood the basics.
Right.
So, like, that's what I'm doing musically right now.
Yeah.
Is I've gotten to a point where I'm really happy with like my creativity and my ability.
Yeah.
So I'm exploring the basics. I'm finally at a point where I can comfortably go like beginner shit.
Yeah.
And it's profound to me. it's like it's just as much fun as learning anything else.
Yeah.
But that's just the way I like to do it.
I think that describes a lot of the way our friendship group has learned music.
Yeah.
Alex probably is the best at reading because he started with piano, but I don't even know at this point if that has diminished or not.
Yeah, I wonder.
But I mean, Jake, the way he plays guitar, that's definitely unorthodox.
Very, very weird.
He made that up.
Well,
No
yeah,
doubt.
it's funny too because he made it up for himself, but the tunings that he uses are blues tunings. They're open chord tunings that were made famous by like B.B. King and Keith Richards, which is kind of interesting. They did the same thing to play exactly the way he's playing. So
Trench Party really is in the genre of B.B. King.
yeah, basically like the Rolling Stones.
Okay. It's like the new band.
He's like the Rolling Stones that suck huge dunk dicks.
Oh, dude, I went to, you remember that mountain that I was looking for? Elijah Mountain that I told you about? I went in that general area, and I ended up finding this other path.
Oh, I read your post on that, dude.
Dude, it was awesome.
Very, very cool. Man.
Arabia Mountain. Panola.
Very cool.
It was over by where your dad lives, Stockbridge. I was in Stockbridge.
Ah, so you did it.
Yeah.
How boring was it?
It was actually really boring until I found that path.
Yeah.
It was really beautiful on that path. It's like 13
Like a
miles.
cement path.
Yeah, like you know how the path goes to Stone Mountain and everything?
Yeah.
Same organization made this path. I found that they have paths all over Atlanta.
Is it the same people that made Silver Comet?
Yes.
Okay, because Silver Comet is fucking awesome.
We should do that then sometime.
It's just like so chill.
Yeah. And they also have something up in Chastain, which I went the next day to Chastain.
Sweet.
Yeah, there's a golf course. Yeah,
It's probably expensive.
I
Like
think
private.
so. There's this guy, a customer the other day who came through my line, and he said that there's this website called Golf Now.
Yeah, I'm sure Ray knows about it, dude.
Yeah, he said it's the cheapest golfing thing that you can find.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get a refill.
Me too.
Dude, Ray is so into golf. He goes every day that he possibly can.
Has it gotten pretty good?
Yeah, he's pretty decent. I mean, he has his off days and his on days.
He's like Tiger. Mang, are you like Tiger?
Maybe.
He's like, Josh, this is not as fun as usual.
Tired. Well, tell your friends to get here. Swollen wood phenomenon.
I know.
I like watching people just like act like this thing is broken.
Swollen wood phenomenon.
This clip is the continuation and the conclusion of the talk that Josh and I had at Park Grounds yesterday, May 14th. We both went inside to get a refill of coffee, and so that seemed like a natural point to stop recording. And as soon as we came back outside, the recording recommenced.
I can tell already in this conversation that a lot of steam has been blown.
Dude, every single time, man. This is a good thing for me.
We just had 2 days of not doing this, so it's like it's all built up a little bit.
Ideally, I would be doing this every day, once a day. So.
And then ultra ideally, you wouldn't have to do it at all.
I don't even think like that. Interesting.
It's an
But
inversion.
you're so right. So.
It's like something collapsing in upon itself.
You're so right. I remember you were saying how how it's like one time it was like a phenomenon in the West that everybody's into therapy. Because in the East, everybody just talks to each other, so they don't need therapy. It's true.
They have faith that things will do the same thing that therapy does. Like exorcising demons and offering prayers and stuff.
And like baptisms.
Yeah.
I know when I was in therapy, it was pretty easy to see how the only way that it could benefit me right away, which was to be honest and to not look for answers in another person. So,
Or blame as well in another person.
or when I say another person, I mean the therapist. Like,
Oh, like they can't
it's
give
like-
you an answer.
yeah, it's
Okay.
like they're there, but it's almost like they're just... The only reason people need a therapist is because they're not comfortable being honest with anybody in their lives. They need an anonymous to talk to. But they're not religious, so they don't go to confessional or whatever. It seems like.
Well, that reminds me of something, and then another thing real quick. If you go to state, you get that free therapy, which is sweet. And also, I realized my roommate Erica the other day said that I can't go to the gym if I'm not registered for classes. And it's true. I stopped by the gym the other day, and I have to pay $49 as it's like some sort of a fee that will carry over because I'm registered for classes in the fall. It will give me access to the gym. It's like the university fees.
Yeah.
So
Netflix.
we could still do it.
For $50?
It's a one-time payment for me, and then it would still be $5 for you.
Well, I'm definitely down at some point. I have not forgot about that. So I've been so busy.
Oh yeah,
So,
me too. I just worked 2 40-hour weeks, so it's been pretty busy.
yeah. I'm excited to have that job.
Yeah, I
I'm
bet.
not jinxing it. But to go like in the evenings,
Yeah, that'd be a good way to relieve some stem.
fuck yeah.
Weather looks a little nasty. Yesterday was like the worst rain it's been in
It's
months.
disgusting, man.
Yeah.
Disgusting day. Just disgusting.
I wanted to bike home, but I'm so glad I didn't. That would have been miserable. Plus, my bike wouldn't have been good in that weather. The rain sucks for biking.
It's funny that of all the podcasts Jake listened to, you listened to that one podcast.
I wonder, there must have been some reason, because it was right after the Tallahassee. I think it was because I used a picture of both of us
Yeah.
for the cover art or something. Because there must have been some reason.
Or that was my predominant thought of the whole matter. I was like, can't believe you listen to that. So,
He like texted me like a good episode or something like that before he talked to you about talking about Trench Party or whatever, and that kind of surprised me.
I guess he was being sarcastic.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe he was just hadn't gotten to that part. I think he might have been currently listening to it or something. I don't know. It was weird.
He's gonna listen to this one too now. Hey Jake.
Do you know if Alex listened to the one?
I don't. He didn't talk to me.
You haven't seen
He
him?
did.
Yeah.
I feel like he had to have. He didn't know shoot myself.
Just to see what the hype's all about.
Yeah. Dude, DBZ, man. Vegeta just got slayed.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Almost. I have like just a few left for the Saiyan Saga.
So has Krillin approached him yet with the sword? Oh, he has.
Yes.
So he's gone.
He escaped.
I see. And when I'm better.
He's like, I will crush you and look in your eyes.
Yeah.
That was a sweet part.
Vegeta's the man.
Dude, he is so tight.
He's the one
So
who
is
grows the
Goku,
most.
man.
Yeah, yeah.
Goku is such a badass.
Yeah, he is. I'm in the Frieza saga, and Frieza just turned perfect.
Oh yeah.
Last form. And Goku is still in like the recovery chamber in Frieza's ship after Captain Ginyu, and he switched bodies and stuff.
I don't remember anything about the Namek Captain Ginyu.
Oh man, this is a cool saga.
I'm really excited about it.
Captain Ginyu is awesome.
I remember somehow they bring Piccolo back to life, and I don't remember how they do it.
I won't tell you
I'm
that.
excited.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's like when Brian Goodrow ruined Harry Potter for me. I won't let you know.
I don't even know if I saw these episodes.
You may not have, man.
I'm sure I saw pieces of them.
But you
Or I
probably
saw
missed-
a few every now and then.
Yeah.
But if I don't remember the saga, I remember
Yeah.
I made remember because somebody told me that Goku was going to turn Saiyan or Super Saiyan in Frieza Saga.
Yeah,
So that
yeah.
was a large motivator to be present in every episode.
But there's so many filler
I
episodes.
watched like 50
man.
episodes before I saw that. So.
Yeah, that's probably like going to be like the last 5 episodes that happens of the Frieza Saga or something.
How many episodes are in the Frieza Saga?
I think it's maybe 20 or 30. But they're all just so short, you know, 19 minutes or whatever.
I thought it would be so much more than that.
It seems like it was because they had to wait a whole day. And
I was telling Daniel that I was watching Dragon Ball Z. He used to be really into that.
did he react like Noah?
No, he thought it was cool. But he was saying that somebody had told him that there's some version of Dragon Ball Z that's like almost like, I guess, a movie where they cut out all the filler talk and just like show all the action.
Oh, really?
It sounds really cool.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could find that on YouTube. It was bizarre seeing Anna's mom.
Dude, I bet, man.
That was very
But
weird.
that was so weird. I always think I see her around.
She's got a very standard mom kind of look to her.
Very distinct mom.
When she came through, I was like, your last name is Hall? And she was like, yes. And I was like, oh, you're Anna Hall's mom. And she put out her hand to shake my hand. And I don't think, she didn't recognize me. I've changed a lot since I probably saw her last.
Did she remember who you were after you?
Oh, yeah, Yeah, she did. It was just so weird. I don't know what she was doing in Atlanta.
That is weird.
Maybe she's just treating herself.
To Whole Foods.
Yeah. It was early, too. I had to open that day. So I got there at 7:45, and she was probably there before 9. So, it's an early day.
Maybe her husband was there.
Maybe. That's not a bad thought. Because she was with...
Are they going to try to...
Harrison.
I guess you might not figure this out. Move to the city.
No, I didn't figure... Oh, wait. No, they're going to move up to Lake Lanier, that area.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right on retirement.
Yeah, totally. Where did she work?
She taught at Wilburn Elementary.
Oh, really?
Or maybe... Yeah, she taught music there.
Oh, really?
As a music teacher.
Apple from the tree.
Huh?
Apple from the tree. She and Anna.
Indeed.
I wonder if Anna plays music at all anymore.
That's a good question.
I'd asked her about how Matt's entrepreneurial venture was going, and she said that he has a few. Oh, Matt's dad has terminal cancer.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I know. We talked about that for a
sucks.
sec. Yeah, they just found out a few months
His
ago.
dad is a really cool guy, man.
I remember I met him at the lake. Both his parents were really extremely sweet people.
I remember his dad's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
I remember him from Boy Scouts.
Yeah, oh man, you just reminded me. I cooked the meat that night on the grill when I was at the thing, and he and I talked about like Japan. It was before I went to Japan and stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we had like a really good like little talk.
Yeah, man, that's sad.
Yeah, and I told him about my grandma and stuff. We talked about a lot of stuff in like a very short amount of time.
Dang. That's interesting.
Today I'm biking to go meet my Burmese refugee family.
Oh, yeah? Are they gonna be like, kid?
Okay. I looked up Burmese just to like listen to what it sounds like and stuff. The script is pretty difficult looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Hindi or something.
Good luck, my man. You're gonna need it.
We'll see. I wonder how hard it is.
Man, I'm nervous about putting in my 2 weeks.
Oh, really? Just because
Yeah.
you don't know if you're going to get the job? Or what?
No, just because putting in 2 weeks. I feel like it's like wrong.
Interesting.
Yeah. I always get that way. Feel like I'm like doing them, even though they don't fucking feel bad about firing me. I just feel like I'm like breaking up the family. So it's funny. Dakota Blue got robbed 3 times last week.
Robbed?
Yeah.
Like at gunpoint or what?
Yeah, they broke in.
Oh, really?
Clothes and just stole liquor.
Really?
And then some dude that comes in there a lot, like we told him about it, and he like lives at a halfway house down the road, and so he's been like in the vicinity of a lot of sketchy folks that like hang out in that area. And so he said he would keep his ears open, and he left, and he said like I went outside, And he was coming like right back, and he was like, "Dude, I already figured out who did it." And it was in Grant Park, those guys that one dude will like play the trombone, and the other guy will like beat on the bucket as drums. They like play for like tip money or some shit.
They do it by the Dakota Blue.
They do it actually by the zoo, or in Grant Park.
I haven't seen that.
Cyclorama. He said he was walking through and they were drunk as shit and like offered him liquor, and he was like, "What kind of liquor you got?" And he was like, "Check it out, man. We got tons of vodka." And he had like all the liquor that he had stolen.
Wow.
So he came back up and told the owner.
Huh.
But they were gone when they went and checked it out.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they'll catch him. So he's dealing with turmoil.
I see.
I don't feel bad about breaking up with him.
Yeah, but you're giving them time to figure out.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So.
You're doing something that's hard in the best way you can do it.
Yeah, I've definitely never had such an issue.
Yeah.
I mean, I meant to say it's basically no issue.
Yeah.
For $14 an hour, there's nothing he could say except for $15 an hour that would convince me. So.
My mom told me yesterday, now that you mentioned that it's actually going to be 12.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Which
Dang.
I don't understand how. They went to Tallahassee this past weekend, so they were with Cynthia.
Yeah.
But the reason my mom said it's going to be 12 is that you and Johnson are both going to get 12. Johnson is because he's definitely part-time and he's not going to have anything past the summer, they're going to do 12 for him. But because you actually might have potential to stay with the company longer, they want you to be able to go up.
Okay.
So the potential for a raise is the reason why they want to start you a little lower than 14.
Right.
But that's not what my aunt told me the other day. So they changed their mind at some point.
Yeah, they just don't want to give me $14 an hour. I mean, that's fine though. 12 is still a raise, so
Yeah, that's
is
very
a
healthy.
$250 raise.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna complain about that.
Yeah. No doubt.
But yeah, still full time, still at the restaurant. So
Yeah.
can't wait to get out the fucking restaurant. That's gonna be the shit. So.
Where all have you worked since you've lived in Atlanta?
There's your boy, dude.
Joe? Oh. Don't trick me like that. There's a popular spot for Whole Foods crowd. What car did he get out of? That one? That's a nice
just
car.
blown away. He must have rich parents, dude.
That's a really nice
I've
car.
wondered a lot about him because he always gets tattoos.
Yeah.
He works at Whole Foods. Mm-hmm. Just wonder.
Which Whole Foods can be good, but you only make like 500.
Indeed, but I mean, if that dude's working full time,
Yeah.
I'd be impressed if
Yeah.
he's like getting tattooed like constantly and
Yeah.
every fucking day.
Yeah, totally.
Also,
How old do you think he is?
I don't know.
26?
You know, it's weird. When I first saw him, I thought he was like a grown man.
He looks like one.
He does. Or he had a beard when I first saw him too. And I didn't realize he was interning at the bike shop. And then I started to hear him talk more, and I was like, oh, this guy. I thought he was like a dad or something. So,
Not yet.
yeah.
That's weird. That's really weird.
Maybe
only-
he's here early because he don't want anybody to see his car.
I was going to say it might be his girlfriend's car, but I talked to him the other day if he had a girlfriend, and he said no. And I don't think he would have gotten one in like the span of 2 weeks and driving a car already. But maybe. Weird. There was this girl, we had a meeting the other day at Whole Foods, and there's this really attractive girl that came in that I've never seen before. But like, it was an obligatory meeting for all of the Whole Foods employees. And that guy and that girl started talking. So,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I could tell.
Hey, how you doing? Right on. That's Ming. It's Ming?
Hey,
like,
Lily.
like the dynasty?
I mean, like the dynasty.
Now she's happy.
That's a little puppy.
Yeah. Fresh off the block.
Buddy. Hey.
Yeah, he's definitely the type. You gotta give him that. No fear. So.
Yeah, loves the ladies.
When I first saw him, before I knew who he was, I got strong douchebag impressions. But ever since I've talked to him, I've decided I like him. Mm-hmm. I think he's funny. He pisses everybody off that I work with so bad, but I think it's really funny.
Yeah, he seems very honest.
Yeah, he comes in and he's just like, we'll like yell their names. I'm like, can I get this? And I'll like come in like 20 times in like 4 hours. So I know it gets on their nerves really bad.
That's kind of what he does at Whole Foods too.
Yeah.
Just very loud. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever he leaves, it's funny. He has his bike and he'll just go through all the aisles until he gets to the front door, ringing his bell. It's like this piercing, high-pitched bell. And we have a security guard named George Harrison. And he would be an interesting guy to get on tape because he was in like the Rangers or something, like intense military organization. And I asked him the other day because I knew that he's the kind of person that would be like very willing and open to talk about his past because he's just proud of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, did you ever serve in any branch of the military? Like 14 years with the Rangers. Like, look at me now, it's 15 years on. I used to carry a 30-yard 6, and now I just got a walkie-talkie or something like that.
I bet he feels good about that.
He is one of the weirdest guys. Sometimes, like, if attractive girls are going by, he's like, Kenneth! And I was like...
Like, what?
This is that song. This song is on another podcast clip of you and I talking. You can't escape it.
That's sad.
Isn't this Passion Pit still? Or is this someone else?
It doesn't sound like Passion Pit.
Yo! How's it going? Chillaxing.
Yeah.
What about you?
Fucking running some errands, dude. I fly out super early in the morning.
Where are you going?
Seattle.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What for?
Just go kick it, ride some bikes.
That's awesome.
Fuck yeah.
Got some PTO built up, man. I'm gonna use that shit.
Nice. Very cool.
See you guys later.
Yeah, man. Personal training officer.
What is that?
PTO, pay time off. I guess you get that pretty early on in the Whole Foods thing.
That's pretty awesome. You don't have that, do you?
I don't know if I have it yet. I think you might have to be full-time to get it. That would make sense. That'd be weird if you could get that for part-time.
Full-time for the benefits.
But that's crazy. To not only have like a week off, but to be able to fly to Seattle, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, flying is not that bad. Especially to like a big city. You can, like if you wanted to go to New York, you can, because they do so many flights. Right. That you can do standby for like $100 and you're guaranteed to get a spot.
You know what
that's for 2 ways too.
You mean round trip?
Oh yeah.
That's cheaper than
$150. Cheaper than driving.
It's cheaper than with train too.
Oh yeah.
He's probably going to hang out with the same guy that Ariel hung out with in Seattle. The guy from Loose Nuts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I bet you that's what he's doing. Because he could stay there for free and ride bikes. And that's exactly what Ariel did.
There's the Loose Nuts out there?
There's one of the guys, the reason that guy is at Loose Nuts is because this guy that Ariel kind of was with left to go to Seattle.
Oh, really?
He actually...
I wonder who it was. I guess I never saw him.
I think he was actually a pilot or worked for Delta or something, so maybe that's even why he's able to fly out there for even cheaper than regular. There's a lot of pieces that possibly just fell into place.
No doubt. He's well connected.
He may be.
We'll leave here. What I do, we'll put him in 2 weeks. Dang.
This last clip is a fictional account of what I would imagine a time at the Peace Corps could be like. I've been taking in a lot of information about the Peace Corps, been running it around in my head a lot. And the other day, yesterday, before I biked to go meet the refugee family that I will be teaching English to, their names are Elizabeth and Ba, and they are from Burma. And before I went to go and speak with them for the first time, I made up this little story, just on the spot, just let my imagination run with it, and came up with a almost 20-minute account of something that never actually happened, and never actually happened to me. It was about a year after I had graduated, and I had just returned from the Peace Corps. I had spent the better part of a year abroad, helping out in Morocco, trying to, well, at first I had gone there in order to teach English, but when I got over there, the true need of the people in Morocco was not so much English education as much as it was the building of infrastructure. And so, though I had never done any work with like hydrology or laying down piping or figuring out, there's a bunch of science behind the way our water system is put together and made up. Here in the West, we take it for granted because it's just there. It is. And it's been that way for almost 100 years here in the West, especially in particularly in America. But in Morocco, something like, city-run sewage treatment plant or water distribution centers for clean drinking water in a city, those sort of things are just now being established. And so getting to Morocco and going for the first few months to the school to teach the high schoolers English, I soon became aware that the biggest, most pressing issue in Morocco, at least the city I was in called Tanjoub, was that they were desperately trying to implement a new watering system into their country. And it became very, very apparent to me that though I was there as an English teacher and trained as such, that I needed to kind of switch my priorities. Many of the students who I was teaching at the high school, their attendance every week, the total attendance of the group would start to kind of taper off. And so when I first got to Tanjoub, it was I was teaching about 60 high school children, students, young adults really, I should say. Some of them were only a few years younger than me. And, every week, 5 or 6 or so would just kind of fall off the attendance roll, and I didn't ever see them again in the classroom. And it became sort of disconcerting to me. And so I got in contact with the Peace Corps headquarters that's located in Morocco, which is about, I think, 450 kilometers away from where I was staying. And so I had to do this during one of the days that I was in my town center that had access to the internet, to telephone, to all those kind of commodities and everything. And I talked with them, and they told me that they usually would experience this because when they go into schools and everything and try to set up a roster for children, the children's parents will usually sign up their children and then have them go to school very ardently and with a lot of foresight for the first couple of weeks. But then what usually happens is the parents who need their children to also be working will not be able to make sure that their children are attending school. Some of the children are involved in street crime and part of gangs and things like that. And so they said that it was typical for the attendance to gradually sort of decrease with time, but that I could definitely look forward to having a core group of people somewhere around the 6-month mark. And they said during that time that I could expect to have, the students who would largely stay in my group in my classroom setting until I was done with my commitment with the Peace Corps a year or so later. And what ended up happening was gradually, I heeded their advice. This was, again, only a few months into the total experience. But with each passing month, with each passing day, even sometimes, the attendance still continued to decrease. And so eventually it got down to where there were only 5 to 7 students attending class every week. And these 5 or 7 students were generally the same group of people, but even still, they started to lessen in about the 7th month of my being there. And so I traveled outside into the community that I was staying in, and I had met several of the parents during the first few weeks of my being in Morocco, and I knew where a lot of the students lived. And so I went to the houses because I knew that I needed to really figure out what was going on from the source and not have to go back to talking to the Peace Corps headquarters located in Morocco, because I didn't really feel like they would have an answer. Just a quick little side note. To me, the situation seemed like, you know your body very well, and when your body is sick, if you really listen to your body and try to go to the source of the sickness, whatever it might be, physical or mental, then you might be able to come across the cure, or at least the thing that will lead to the cure, just holistically by venturing inside of yourself, rather than having to seek out advice from a doctor, which is what I kind of felt like the headquarters center of the Peace Corps in Morocco was. I felt like they were generally informed about the situation, but because they didn't live exactly where I did, they couldn't tell me with any real degree of certainty why what I was experiencing was happening. And so I went to every one of these children's homes that I could remember visiting when I had first gotten there. And by this point, my ability to speak French and the native dialects, the Hijo, I think, is the way you pronounce it. Or at least that's the way I pronounce it. The native dialect, I could speak all of that well enough to ask the simple questions that I needed to in order to understand where the students were going and why my time as a teacher was seeming to be such a failure. And so the parents informed me, although, truth be told, it was really only a bunch of women that I spoke to. The men were out working during the day and wouldn't return until late at night. And when they returned, a lot of them liked to drink and to eat and to not, I guess, deal with any more hardships or concerns for the day. They would all get together, all the men, and they would, relax, I guess, talk about their days or whatever, and they weren't really easy to approach. But the women, the mothers, they told me that all of the young boys had been sort of, what's the word? There's a word that means, not transcribed, but they had been conscripted, that's it, to working for this new company that was laying down all this infrastructure in Morocco. And the boys had been sent there one by one after there was some sort of a recruiter that had gone by and through all the neighborhoods to pick up all the children, the young adults, so that they could go and work digging the trenches for the pipelines and everything. And this was definitely news to me. We have TV and radio where I live, but ultimately, the language to me still is a little hard to grasp. So even though they probably were talking about the project that had taken my students away from me for several months, and the several months that I had lived in Morocco, I just hadn't been able to fully grasp what was going on and to really understand the proximity of everything that was happening in Morocco. Just it was a language barrier issue, and I wasn't able to understand at that point. But the women and the mothers that I spoke with, they were able to put things very, very plainly, very, very simply, and I understood that all of the students that I had started working. And it was around this time that I first started drafting my first operational change request form to the Peace Corps. I realized that even though I was trained as a teacher and had gone there to teach English, that I needed to switch my priority to helping with this hydrology program and making sure that everything was done in a way that could be sustainable and correctly enacted, I suppose. And so I wrote about 12 pages to the Peace Corps office that was located in Morocco, and they sent me back some forms that were basically saying that I had to fill out more paperwork to the main office back in the United States that would fully describe the situation, what I wanted to do, and I had to also request for a permit to leave Morocco because I was going to travel to Germany so that I could be certified in sort of a combination degree of like hydrology and architecture. And so I started filling out this form to the major like head office in Washington, D.C., and that ended up being somewhere around 50 pages, and that was really fully describing the situation as it was in Morocco, why I felt like I needed to change from what I had originally been sent to Morocco to do to what now I saw was actually the pressing issue of the area that I was in, and why I should be granted the, I guess, this extension of my Peace Corps service to go to Germany and learn at one of their universities to figure out how to have the skills to really help the Moroccans, set up their own community water system that would be done correctly. Because one of the biggest examples that the Moroccans used as to why they needed some sort of a Western influence was that everything that happened after the Haitian earthquake, with the collapsing of all the infrastructure there and the poorly made houses, and Morocco and Haiti are both French-speaking countries, and so they, in Morocco, were very well in tune with what had happened in Haiti, and they were able to understand from a Haitian perspective, because of the similarity in language, what went wrong. And the Moroccans didn't want to set up a system that was good enough to get the job done for the moment, but ultimately would lead to some greater disaster, which is kind of what happened in Haiti when they developed the city of Port-au-Prince. They put it together very haphazardly, and it was sort of a ramshackle coming together of building materials that were just not designed to last for perpetuity. They were very much so temporary, but because they were good enough for the moment, no one ever thought that they should be improved upon. And so I had all this stuff written out in my report to the main office in DC, and I had the clearance now from the office in Morocco of the Peace Corps, and I was in the process of being approved in DC. And that was when I applied to the University of Habsburg, and I found this university on a list of universities that had been sort of pre-approved by the Peace Corps to be one that was closer than the United States is and was to where I was stationed, and also is similar enough to the United States curriculum at some of the best architectural and I guess environmental studies, or sort of the schools that have the best programs for what ends up becoming the creation of infrastructure. And so I got accepted into this university after explaining my situation, and I had studied German for a few years in high school, so I knew the basic structure of the language, and I was able to kind of present myself as a unique international student, because I was really going there to Germany to have an intensive one-year-long course study in a very concentrated field of infrastructure creation at a university that was well known for having a good program for this specific type of study. Exactly. And so I was accepted into this university in sort of a hurried fashion, and I left Morocco about a year and 3 months after getting there. And it was during that time that I met with some of the it was before I left that I met with some of the people who were really putting the infrastructure into Morocco, and told them what I was doing, and they all gave me their blessings and everything, and looked forward to my return. And currently I'm still studying at Habsburg. I'm at the 3/4 mark at the end of the semester, the end of the year-long study program, the intensive study program. I'll be graduating magna cum laude from my core studies. I've studied everything in German, which that's been intense. My studies in Morocco, when I first got there learning French, really supercharged my sensitivity to picking up foreign languages. And so I was able to simultaneously learn German while learning about, hydrology and architectural science and stability and things like that. So I learned two things at once, and so now I've become diversified in, three ways that I didn't even see as possible avenues for the future, that really only presented themselves initially as a problem in a country that I had been sent to in order to provide a skill that I ended up finding was not necessary for the moment. And so I'll be going back to Morocco in about 3 months, and when I do, I'll be part of the Corps of Engineers that are putting together this infrastructure in the country. And after we're able to fully develop Tangier, the biggest city in Morocco that I'm in, I plan to stay for a couple years after that in order to make sure that everything we did was done correctly and that it's kept up, I guess, in the way it needs to be kept up with, in order to make sure that there are no problems because of negligence or things that were put together hastily and therefore inadequately. And also, during that time, I will actually return to teaching and fully finish what I was sent to Morocco initially to do. But until then, I'm here in Germany, enjoying the Western comforts and commodities that I had done without for about a year in Morocco. And soon I'll be returning to another 2 or so years living without. And I can't wait. That's really exciting. I feel like I'm really doing something, and that's really, really great.